Yo, check it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
What's happening? What's happening?
Happy Monday.
Yes,
Happy Monday.
I'm back.
Did you guys miss me? I know in this last podcast, I was not there. I do
Christian
apologize.
wasn't there.
I missed you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We missed you.
I'm back
Look at
though.
our special guest today.
We got a mermaid on our guest today.
Yes.
She came from the
Mermaid.
deep blue sea.
The queen of the Atlantis.
So why are you dressed up as a mermaid right now? What's going on?
JERiCK, that's a great question.
It's not Halloween anymore.
It's not. Well, I mean, by the time this podcast comes out, it's gonna be past Halloween, but it's
Yeah.
not the 31st yet. One, I've always wanted blue hair. Two, I mean, ever since The Little Mermaid, what girl doesn't want to be a mermaid? And then three, I figured if I have the resources to do so, why not be a fierce mermaid on the Yo Check It podcast with my favorite Yo Check It boys?
Hey, I love that. I
Damn,
love
that
it.
was good. That was
That's
good.
good. I like that. That energy.
I'm
All
excited.
right, anyways, how's you guys' week so far?
Oh, dude. Well, I guess I'll go first. What did I do this weekend? Oh, I went to Apple Hill this weekend. That was kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Apple Hill, California. It was kind of cool, but up until my friend's tires popped, and that kind of sucked. But I mean, it's no big
While
deal.
you were driving?
Not while I was driving. I
While
was.
he was driving?
while
And
he
you
was
were in the
driving.
car?
While I was in the car. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty
was-
How did
scary.
it pop? It just
It was. I don't know. It was just It's a small road, so I mean, can't blame the guy. But it was really cool because I'm a true believer that things don't happen without a reason. You know, so we didn't get stranded, but we stopped right in front of this B&B, and shout out to you, Mike, because this guy was super nice. Like, we were sitting there, we're like, oh, okay, we gotta figure out what we're doing. Here I am trying to lift this car up, like try to get the tires out and try to figure everything out. The guy who owns B&B, super nice. He had like an air what am I trying to say here?
A jack?
No. He also had a jack. He had everything. He gave us everything we needed. Super cool.
it's more than what you
Super
paid
cool.
for, dude.
Yeah. And then while the owner of the car, as well as our other friend, while they went to go get new tires, he showed us around his B&B. He built this
cool.
B&B all by himself. Super cool. I was flabbergasted. He showed me this koi fish pond that he had made. Man, I was inspired. I totally want to make one when I have my own house. That would be super cool. And then he's just showing us like the lay of his land. So it was pretty dope.
Oh, right on Apple Hill?
Right on Apple Hill. I mean, I'm not quite sure. You know what? I'm so sorry. I can't remember for the life of me. You know what? It might just be because I'm drinking.
Yeah, we got a good cocktail going.
Yeah.
We got what is it called again?
It doesn't have a name. It was actually birthed from... All right, I'm just going to dive into the story. So I was actually going to show my dad rum chata, which is a rum horchata liqueur deliciousness. And just that on rocks, on ice, is like so good and just yummy and just creamy and milky and delicious. And then I was thinking when I had showed it to my dad and my aunt that... yo, check this out. Like, it's amazing. And I knew they'd love it, and they did. And then in my mind, I was thinking, you know what would be really good, because it's like super like creamy, heavy consistency, to like cut it and break it up a little bit to give it that effervescent bubble tingle sort of feel, to add some like sparkling water in there, and coconut water was the go-to. And then my dad,
okay.
he loves his Mai Tais. And he had suggested putting some coconut rum in there, so Malibu is in there. And then he had said, like, normally when it's like done up, you put some coconut flakes too on top, and then a little bit of like nutmeg. And then if you want to
dang,
go
that
like
sounds
extra
delicious.
super duper fancy, then you put like a flower in there and like just make it really tropical and just like
Wow.
amazing. When you drink it, you feel
Yeah, we should have
good
put
and
flowers on it.
Shoot. Well, at that point, I'd probably just take pictures and not
I know,
drink
right?
it.
I can't drink this. It's
Yeah.
too pretty.
It's
so
art now.
good. But what do
Yeah.
you think of it?
It's
delicious.
absolutely delicious. It
You.
is a good combination without the garnishes. But hey,
Cheers.
cheers. Cheers.
Yep.
Yes.
Welcome to our ASMR. ASMR. So how was your week, Noel?
Ooh, it was good. I'm on the job hunt, So I'm looking into actually getting out there on the field and start making some money and starting that path of my life. And so I'm being really just like gracious with the whole process and trying to find enjoyment, which is normally it's a stressful process, but I think that's one thing I love to do is just being able to find the pleasure out of things that are really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And just diving really deep into everything that I get in myself into. And plus I went Halloween shopping. So that was really fun too. And now I get to like present myself as a mermaid.
Oh, yeah. Well, for the people that are listening in, she's dressed up as a mermaid right now. With blue hair with, whatever mermaid look like.
Some shells, some makeup done. I just, I really wanted to impress you fellas, and I really wanted to impress myself and make my dream come a reality. And any chance that I can get to do that, then I'll do it like 100%.
Yeah, if you're listening right now, you should go to YouTube and watch it instead because
just check it out.
We got a nice visual happening right now.
But we do appreciate you listening on all forms, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube.
Yeah.
Or
Facebook. Yeah.
Or Facebook.
A lot of people watch it on Facebook for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I mean, I appreciate everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody checks us out, but it's not for us. It's for you.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, my week was pretty good. I just got back from Omaha. Yeah.
What's in Omaha?
Yeah.
It's very flat. Yeah.
That was like Denver, except you can in the distance you can see
it
mountains.
was crazy because like when I landed, I got off the plane, I was like, where the mountains at? It's like I'm so used to like seeing mountains everywhere, But
the Sierras and all that.
Yeah, it's just flat and it's a lot bigger than Reno. I thought it was gonna be like a small town, but yeah, it's pretty big. And it was super cold.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was like I think like 40s.
What?
I mean, that's not that cold, but like it was cold for me because I didn't bring enough
layers.
thick layers. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun.
What's in Omaha? What were you doing there?
I was filming a documentary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Continuation
work
of
stuff.
last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just work stuff.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
It's always cool.
I was there for 5 days.
Did you do anything interesting while you were there though, other than work?
Nothing too interesting. Yeah. Mostly just work stuff.
Did you eat something amazing there? That's like the Omaha staple.
Yeah.
Not
cool out
Omaha
there?
staple, but we did eat like really nice like steak dinner.
Ooh.
I mean, Omaha
Are
steak.
you a ribeye kind of guy? What kind of cut are you?
Man, I think it was a
New
ribeye.
York filet mignon.
Ooh, filet mignon is always good.
I think it was a ribeye. From what I
love
remember.
ribeyes. That's
You know
my
what I want to try?
favorite.
I want to try that tomahawk steak. Because I heard it was super delicious. but
Yeah, those things are legit.
I've never had a chance to try it.
Yeah, so the person I went with, she told me they tried one of those like fancy steak. It was like $250.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm like,
trying
oh
One day.
man.
Like the Kobe beef? Is
Ooh.
that
I don't know
where
what
they
it-
like massage the cows
yeah.
too.
I can't remember what kind it was, but she said it was like $250. I was like, I don't know if I want to pay $250 for a steak.
Dang. For
yeah.
food connoisseurs, why not?
Yeah,
I'm
one
all
of these
about that.
days.
Yeah. One of these
Yeah.
days when we get that
Cheddar, baby,
Yeah.
cheddar.
That cheddar. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
yes,
Oh.
eventually. But for now, we just gotta stick with that $10 prime rib,
Yes, good enough. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it.
I mean,
Exactly.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at dollar hamburgers either. You know what I'm saying? It's good.
Exactly. But
But,
anyways, yeah.
Oh, so the last time you were here, we were just trying to figure out our, the way we, I guess, do this whole thing here. Now we got a little bit of, more structure.
Yeah.
So we'd like to ask you 2 questions, since technically,
To start things off, to get some, warm it up a little bit.
yeah,
like
let's
it.
warm it up. Get the viewers. They're already excited, but get them more excited.
I'm excited too.
Ooh. All right, so we're gonna start off with
Lay
the
it
first
on
question.
me.
All right, go ask question.
What is your current obsession?
My current obsession.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting a lot of energy into where I want to invest my energy.
What does that mean?
So that means right
Explain.
now what's that looking like is current obsession. Okay, if I'm getting real, my current obsession actually is what wants to come to mind is death.
Ooh, that's super dark.
I mean, I know it is
But,
really
I
dark,
mean,
but I mean, it
that's
is almost
interesting.
Halloween. We are
Yeah.
in like a Scorpio
Oh,
season.
okay.
And I did just come back from Hawaii, and my grandpa passed away, so we were spending
Yeah.
time with memorial, and that really like
Condolences.
shifted things into perspective for me of like, how do I value life? Like, what does life truly mean? And hence why I'm a mermaid right now. It's like our life is so limited, and it's like, what's the impact that I want to make? And and yeah, what's the impact that I want to make, and how do I want to spend, and how do I want to enjoy my life and enjoy myself and live my life to my greatest potential?
Absolutely.
It's like
Absolutely.
it just freaking shifted everything, where I thought like I never even wanted to think of especially someone who I truly love and value, you know,
Yeah.
to like transition. So, now I'm like, all right, I'm like ready to transition myself. It's like I want to like step into his greatness, because he had over 100 people at his memorial, and I'm like, if I pass away, am I gonna have that? Like, did I make that impact on people? Like, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, like it was crazy too because when my grandma passed away a few months ago, I mean I was in the Philippines. Like, it's crazy to hear. It's good to hear like how people tell stories of like how my grandma was and like how great she was. It was like eye opening. It was like hopefully I do the same thing, you know? Like
Yeah, no,
people
absolutely.
tell stories of like, oh, like she helped me and like blah blah blah, all this. I was like,
Yeah.
man, my grandma was great. She was like a great person. So
I mean, greatness doesn't have to lie within just like what you do. It's who you are, you know, like
yeah.
what you've done for people. I mean, I don't want to like, shift the conversation, but the other day, right? Probably like yesterday, I was just going along, minding my own business, and like I was at the gym, and this person, her keys were on the ground. And I was like, well, I mean, do I just walk by these keys and just let the day go by, or do I, be a little bit more mindful and pick these keys up and help her out? I mean, she was running. I mean, like obviously I could have just walked away, but I decided to pick up these keys, and then I went up to her. Well, I scared her. She was like, ah, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. But anyways, I gave her back her keys, and in my mind I was like, oh, it's just doing the right thing. Like, and then throughout the day, going about my own business, and I was at Winco, and I was trying to put away, or I was trying to go to my car, and as I was putting this cart away, or as I was going to my car, I see this cart in the middle of the road. Um, I'm just trying to, in my mind I was like, do I just leave this here? No, like the right thing to do would be to put that cart away. So that's what I do, and it's not about like whether or not people notice these things about you. It's about like having the integrity to just do them, to just like be a part of the goodness in this world, to spread that energy, and just like because people will recognize it. People will
Yeah,
recognize
I mean,
the greatness that you like. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that like kings talk in silence, or they're kings and queens, excuse me, kings and queens shine in silence. Like they don't necessarily have to like, oh, I did this grand gesture. No, like you just do the right thing, and people are gonna see, like they're gonna know that the things that you've done in your life have been the good things in your life. So I'm pretty positive, your grandfather, may his soul rest in peace, has done amazing things. He didn't have to say him. He didn't have to. He didn't boast about it, but he's in Hawaii, right? So he was probably living that like Hawaiian lifestyle where everything's just like, hey, like this is the life we live. I share, and we live in one community, and we give and we provide. Like that's beautiful. That's the most beautiful thing you can do in this world.
yeah, just do good things even if nobody's watching.
Absolutely, absolutely. In the world that we live in today, in all the darkness and all like the news that you hear, the things that like people go through, like you can either take that and make it and bring you down, or you could just take those experiences, see the good in them, and do the good for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and especially I've always been so fascinated with entrepreneurship and to really think like, do I want, because I really wanted to start a nonprofit, and that's something still in my field. I can sense that, but it's like you either have for nonprofit or for profit, and for the longest time I only thought those were the two avenues to go down to. And now coming back from seeing what my family has built, it's like their philosophy was for others. And it's like, just if you just provide and be of service for others, and that'll automatically be a projection and a reflection of being able to live for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Like, we're all in this together, so.
Absolutely agree. I mean, some people are out there, for themselves, and like one day they'll notice that, you can't just do things alone. You can't. Life's about helping others out, and then living harmoniously and letting people have their happiness. Don't be treading on other people's happiness. Just let it happen. Let them be happy.
Yeah, and just ebb and flow with life. Know that
Absolutely.
there's so much to it, and it's all about playing and exploring, and whatever feels right, and just keep exploring, because life is not over.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
That got deep real quick.
It did get deep. Thank
Cheers.
you. Oh,
Cheers.
We need a
Cheers,
drink.
grandfather.
We need a drink after that.
Grandpa.
ASMR. Yes. That ice? Or that glass clink? I already finished mine. Sorry.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
well,
was that one. Current
yeah.
obsession. Death,
So
life.
the next question is, what's your guilty pleasure?
Ooh. See, I was ready for this one.
Oh, she studied. She was like, I gotta come
I
up with
know.
something
I watch
good.
your guys' episodes. I support you fellas and what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to stay current with
She's
you guys.
one of our listeners.
Yes.
One of the
One of
5
the-
listeners.
No, we probably got probably 10 now for sure.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
I
For the 10
appreciate
people
you.
out
With the
there,
views. Yes. So
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having this platform. It's incredible. So, what was the question again?
What is
Guilty pleasure.
your guilty
pleasure. Okay.
Mermaids.
Oh. I would say that I think growing and changing is a guilty pleasure, because in order to grow and to change, that means I have to get uncomfortable. And a lot of the times I feared being uncomfortable. I liked feeling safe and cozy and knowing that I had control over like my surroundings. But getting uncomfortable, I've fallen in love with it.
Yeah, it's nice to be uncomfortable, like trying something new, like just like change things up.
growth happens when you're uncomfortable, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, if I've not learned anything in these past couple of weeks, it's just the fact that, if it's uncomfortable to me, I'm probably trying to learn something here. You know what I'm saying? Like, something needs to be learned at this very moment. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate the way you answered these two questions, because, I mean, like, no offense to anybody who's answered these questions. Shoot, I'm guilty of it. But the way you think about the world, crazy awesome. Crazy awesome. I'm telling you, great perspective. Great truths.
On the next level.
On the next level. Not trying to say y'all got to get on this level, but
It's
hey,
fun on this level.
Take it from Noel.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for those.
thanks for answering
man.
those.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo.
So now let's get into the good
Let's
stuff.
do it.
So I know all of y'all out there have been waiting for
I
us to
know.
get back into this.
You gotta
So-
talk about love stuff again.
Yes,
For
yes.
It's
all
all
the
about love.
the hopeless romantics out there, for all the brokenhearted, or
all the full-hearted.
yeah,
Hey, we
For-
out here for you.
basically everybody's just love. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just like a good buzz going.
I'm the one who hasn't even eaten yet, man.
Yeah, and you're done with yours. It's okay. We can share these. Yes.
But
I'm excited. Love.
love.
I like it because last time I was on, we were talking about the hard aspects of love, and it was great because when I had reposted the episode, one of my friends had reached out to me, and she was going through a heartbreak, and so it was really beautiful to know that that episode either it helped her or at least was just there for her. You know?
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Like that's what we
sweet.
wanted to do. Like when we first started this, like we
Yeah,
wanted
absolutely.
to help somebody out.
I mean, and if she ever needs, if she has questions, please throw them at us, and
I know.
we'll gladly.
We're not experts, but
We're
we
here.
got
We keep it
opinions.
real.
No. We got experiences. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
you know
we're-
what?
Yeah.
We got experiences. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
I mean, nobody needs to be walking this earth alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that we all find somebody to walk this planet with. And I mean, yeah, you got your friends and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, somebody's out there who's willing to look at you and take you for who you are and for what you're meant to be. Like that's straight. That's crazy love. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you if you're hurting out there, it's because you haven't found the right one. You know what I'm saying? Be open to just finding him, finding her. Never know. I promise you, it's gonna happen. Don't be
There.
afraid to walk alone, though.
They're out there.
Yeah, and if you got questions, throw them at us. We will gladly answer them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love questions. I love honestly
Yeah,
being there for people.
always.
Actually, this next topic, it was a suggestion it was a question from one of our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if
Yeah,
you're listening, can I give him a shout out?
I'm gonna give her a shout out, but
Oh,
I
give
can't
her a
remember
shout-out.
what episode it is on. Go ahead and start it. Let me find her. It's one of the videos.
Gotcha. Okay, so today's topic, we are going to talk about how much time would you invest in your relationship?
Dun dun dun.
See, going into this, I was like, I'm going to let you guys take it away first because you two are in relationships. I am still single.
Oh, it was Katrina James.
Shout
out
you.
to Katrina James. If you're listening to this right now, this episode's for you. I guess.
Yeah. Yes. When Jared had prompted that question and what the topic was, I was like, that is so interesting because
Ooh.
there's not one right answer.
Yeah,
There
it's-
isn't a right answer.
Yeah.
there
So
is
we're going to
no right
explore
answer.
this together right now.
All right. You wanna start it off, Christian? What do you think, dude?
Yeah. What do you think?
Is it because I'm in a new relationship?
Yes. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
dude.
so stoked for you,
I
by
mean,
the way.
yeah.
That's so beautiful. How do you
I'm-
feel? Confident in the relationship? Yourself in it? What's going on with that? Fill me in. Fill Mama Baron.
Oh, well, I can tell you that, ever since I've been in this relationship, I felt the most happiest I've ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, people are happy, generally happy, but like, the way that like me and my new girl, she's amazing. I'm telling you, like, I've never had a relationship like her. I've never had the like. I've never had a relationship like it. Like, it's so beautiful. We communicate, and that's the most important thing. And that's the thing that we were spouting out like our first couple of episodes, is that communication is super key when it comes to relationship. And you gotta practice what you preach. You can't just be preaching to other people and not practicing it. So I was thinking to myself, I was like, what's the most beautiful thing about this relationship? The fact that we communicate. The fact that she's willing to sit there and listen to me, and I'm willing to sit there and listen to her. The fact that it's that's what's so beautiful about it. I love that. And like, there's always something new to know about her. There's always something like beautiful that we both learn about each other. And for me personally, like, I think it's beautiful. I can't explain anything more than that. Like, if you're watching this, shout out to you, because you turned my life, like my world, upside down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to just feel that way, the words can't express. Words cannot express. Words cannot express.
You didn't answer the question, dude.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, can you repeat that? I got lost in that. Got lost. Love.
What do you think? How much time should you invest on your relationship?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I think you should invest. Personally, you should invest as much as you possibly can, to be honest, because it is a relationship is work. But obviously, you need to give time, so that person can be alone and to learn and grow and be who they are without you and with you. But you just gotta learn. You gotta know that, like, there are certain moments that, like, they're out there and they're doing their own. They're grinding for whatever they need to achieve on their own. And you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be their support system. You're not supposed to, like, you don't want to be a burden. You don't want to be like, oh, okay, like let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. It's like you gotta learn to be like, oh, okay, well, you're on your grind, and if you don't got your own grind, you gotta look for your own grind. I tell you this now because you just you know like after college, like people they either find like their calling, and maybe you haven't, but like if you're in a relationship, you gotta just learn to give it your all, but also know to give it some space because like you want to be able to have them miss you as well. Like that's a very important portion to a relationship. Is
Yeah,
that
I think when you're younger, you would think that the best way to be in a relationship is just be around each other 24/7.
yeah, you can't help it though.
Lovey-dovey.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie
I
to you,
mean,
you cannot
yeah, I
help
get
it.
it because like when you're fresh and new to a relationship, you just want to be with that person, and I feel like everybody goes through that phase where you just like want to be together all the time, but then after a while you realize like I need to figure out things for myself, and like same for that goes to the other person too. Like you got to give them space to let them do what they need to do.
Because I mean, you're on in all honesty, you're building an empire. Like, and whether or not like for whatever relationship, whoever's relationship, you're trying to build your own empire, and then somebody comes along and sits on this throne with you. Like, you best realize that like it's a teamwork. It's no longer, oh, I'm doing this alone. No, you have somebody there to bounce off ideas, or to vent to, or to help you, guide you. Just be a bit better, because learning things on your own, cool. But like to have somebody next to you and like help you learn to be the better person that you can be, to be the greatest person you can be, amazing.
Ideal.
Yeah.
Ideal, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Christian. Like the best, how much time should you invest is however much time you can invest on a relationship.
I mean, as much as you
Yeah.
possibly can. I'm telling you.
As much as you possibly can. Like, especially if you're an adult, like you got other things going on,
Yeah.
not just your relationship. You got a job, or if you're going to school, everybody has their own shit,
Yeah, and it's not even an investment. Like it's because you're you're basically growing something. You're taking a flower, and you're potentially uprooting that flower from where it was growing beautifully, and you're trying to make it grow beautifully with you. You best water it every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just pick this flower up. I mean, if that flower wants to be with you, water it, please,
Yeah.
every single day.
What do you think?
Well, what came to mind when you said that is that I love my houseplants, and
Yeah.
I consider them a part of my family. Hashtag go Mother Nature.
Yeah, green earth.
Yes. And when you were talking about that, it's not like derooting something and being like, I'm going to take you out of this environment and then, have you for myself. What I think about it is just like it's growing and you want to help cultivate it. And so you repot it in a bigger pot so it can have more room to grow and flourish. And
Absolutely.
it's just a part of that process. It's not, it's bad that, you're removing it. It's like, it's almost necessary if you want it to like reach its full and greatest potential. It's just, it's a part of everything. And, for me, I'm like, I'm craving like one of those conversations with someone, especially a significant other, where you just stay up all night and just like talk about anything. Like where you get lost in conversation because it's just so fluid and it feels good. And I'm craving for that.
It's really nice to actually find somebody that you can talk to, especially when they're like just as open as you are. Because I think when you're younger, like you feel like everybody's trying to get you. You know what I mean? Like the older you get, the more you realize like it's okay to be like vulnerable and just be open and be honest with your significant other. Have that conversation if they're doing something that you don't like, or if you're doing something that they don't like they should give them that
be open to
safety to like I guess to open their
it's a safe place,
yeah, safe place. There you go.
This is where you can be free and judgment free, to be able to, once again, conversation. once they get into this like let yourself loose. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Mhm.
the world already puts enough pressure on yourself. You know, you friends, family, work, school, whatever has you doing things because they want you to do these things. There's got to be a place where you're just gonna be like, you're not supposed to be there to put pressure on them. You're supposed to be there to relieve that pressure and just, you know, have them be happy. You know, have them like forget about that part of the world because, you know, that's what relationships should be. You know, they should be a moment in time where it's just like, damn, like, you know, forget the worries of the world. I'm very happy at this moment in time, and that's what it should be. And you know, if it comes to a point where, you know, you gotta talk to them about like certain things that you don't like, or they have to talk to you about certain things, you gotta be open. You gotta be open to you know, obviously, like what Jerry said, being vulnerable, and you can't be scared to be vulnerable, especially if you're trying to be with somebody, and you're trying to make it last. Vulnerability, what I've learned at least, is that it has to be there. You have to be vulnerable. Don't be scared to. I mean, like if it hurts, you're probably doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to be uncomfortable to
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that my whole life I was protecting myself from being vulnerable because I thought being vulnerable was a sign of weakness, but it's actually the exact opposite. And it's a sign of strength of being able to surround yourself with people that you do feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable and to truly express who you are. Because for me, I want to be in a relationship that is going to be something so real and authentic and ooey gooey and something where I don't have to hold back. Because like you were saying,
we didn't even ask you. Are you in a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship.
She's
I'm
single, guys. She's ready to mingle. So
Hey.
anybody, all the single guys out there, hit her up on the
Holla,
IG.
holla.
Slide to her DMs.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, thinking back on all my past relationships of like, I think feeling guilty of like things not working out, or me thinking like, why was I in those relationships in the first place? But now in this space that I'm at now, I'm thinking like, holy crap, like I need to appreciate my own judgment, because you were talking about how relationships shouldn't be about being judgmental. It should be about just being open, where I was so judgmental of my own choices because I was so afraid of making the wrong choice and being in a wrong relationship. I was only focusing on those aspects.
So you were looking for like the
I would say a reason to not get my heart broken.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big problem for a lot of people that are getting into a relationship too. Like they're looking for that one negative instead of like focusing on what the good things,
Yeah, you gotta focus
good
on the
qualities
positive.
of that
And
person.
a
Because
lot of
everybody's got their own shit,
Yeah.
you know. Like you're not gonna find that perfect significant other.
Yeah.
Like everybody has like anybody that you meet, there's probably something that you don't like about them, but you just gotta overlook that and focus on the good things.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, being a creative, I would say if I were to think about, this is just an example of painting a picture. I wouldn't want anyone to see me in the process or see what I was doing while I was in the process, because I'm like, no, this isn't the finished product. Like, get out of here! Don't get me out of my flow.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, it's like it's not ready to be seen yet. You know, like you're
Yeah.
messing me up.
But I think everybody's a work in progress, though.
Everybody
Yes.
is a
Yeah.
no.
Like nobody's
definitely.
perfect.
Say it louder for the people in the back. Nobody's perfect. Come on,
Yeah.
people.
Yes, and we're all going through it, and I think now I can say like the process is the beautiful part of it. I love to watch like tutorials of like makeup tutorials
Yeah.
or painting or doing anything. It's like the process is the beauty.
Yeah.
And for me, I would consider my personal development the process. And so being in relationship, thank you for that. Being in relationship, I guess I didn't want anyone to see my flaws.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like that perfect person for that someone, and if I wasn't, then I was that failure.
Yeah. There's a quote out there that says, love is not about being perfect. It's about seeing somebody imperfect perfectly. I think that's how the quote goes. And then when I was a younger man, I was like, oh shit, I'm hella imperfect. Like people gotta see me perfect. Then no, no, no. It's like I guess to truly understand that quote is to see something like, oh, well, people aren't perfect at all. Nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Like not even a ball is perfect. There's got to be like something about it that is not like that's out of place, and you gotta. We all accept those things. We all accept like those things, and we move on with our lives. The same thing with relationships. It's just that you gotta accept that you're not perfect. And that's also the most important thing is that people don't think about not just of they think about their significant other, but they don't think about themselves. It's like, oh, okay, like you gotta accept that you're not perfect, but you're willing to work on it. Because if you're not willing to work, if you think you're absolutely perfect, if you think like you got things on lock, I'm sorry, you probably don't. Like, there's so many things about you that
Say it like it is, Christian.
yeah,
Please.
you have to. You have to. You gotta seriously sit there and think about yourself and who you are as a person. Because you think you're perfect on your own. Everybody's perfect on their own. They don't have to worry about nobody else.
Right.
That is less responsibility, less stress on you. But if you're trying to make an empire with somebody else, they got a vision of their own, and that vision isn't going to be 100% like perfect. It's going to clash sometimes. You're going to be like, oh, I see things this way and they see things that way. You got to think, okay, well, I understand the way you see things and I will comprehend it, and then I will take it, chew it up, regurgitate it so that it works for the both of us. Because once again, if you're trying to make a beautiful picture, you can totally do it on your own, absolutely. But like to have you ever sat there with somebody and tried to draw something with somebody? Like it's not gonna come out the way you want it to. People are in it perfectionists, and nothing's perfect. You gotta accept the fact that like there will be an imperfection somewhere, and you gotta be willing to like see that imperfection and not have to correct it. You just gotta, accept it because that's what makes the picture beautiful.
I love that.
So in you guys' relationships, do you guys ever feel like you or your significant other didn't give you enough time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Well, going back to our previous podcast of our love languages, I would say my first one was quality time and the second one touch. So two very, very tangible things. And I have been in a long distance relationship and I was like, is this impossible? What? And in that process, like, I felt like I wasn't getting the amount of attention that I felt like it was required to be in a long distance relationship. Because if we weren't actually together, it's like in my mind I was like, well, what's the point then?
Yeah.
So, but I get that space is it's a requirement. Especially for me, I needed space in order to like explore who I was, like you were saying, to like chew on things and to like think about like how can this work, and if it can't work from where it's at now, how can we get it to work?
Yeah, because I think I had the same problem in the past too. Like I had a long distance relationship. Like in the beginning, like we would talk all the time. We would text or like call, and then all of a sudden, like she got like super busy, and I was just kind of like sitting there, kind of waiting and expecting for more attention, And at that time, like she couldn't really give me that. Like it's not that she didn't want to, but she was focused on like other things, and we got into like a big argument because of that, and that's why we kind of ended things. And like looking back at it now, I was like, damn, like it was a big mistake for me to like expect her to give her, give me a lot of her attention when she has other things to like worry about. And like looking back at it now, I was like, it's not that she didn't want me give me attention, it's because like I didn't have anything else going on for myself. I was mostly focused on her, and it was like she was busy because she's grinding, she's working, And then for me, I was just like chilling there and kind of waiting, you know. And it was like a big um, misbalance or unbalance. And I think if you feel like you have like that unbalance of attention or quality time, you should look into yourself and be like, do I have anything going on for myself? Like, if she's busy grinding, doing whatever she needs to do, like, what am I doing? And during that time, I was like, fuck, I didn't do anything. Like, looking back at it, but I mean, during that time, got really mad because, you know, she wasn't giving me enough attention. And we got into a fight. And then looking back at it now, I was like, yep, it was definitely a mistake on my side. And I feel like that's part of growing up. It's just, you gotta
Accept
own
your
that.
flaws.
Yeah. Learn
Own
from
it.
it. Like, right now, the person I'm dating, she's super busy. She's working full time and also going nursing school. So we barely see each other. And some days, like, we barely get to talk. And I think, like, it affects me a little bit because obviously, like, I crave attention once in a while. But
You're
then,
human. We're
yeah.
human.
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
human. You always want to talk to somebody that you love. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
like,
Right.
you know, I
It's a
want her
must.
attention.
Like
Like,
the dose of
and,
like love.
Yeah.
sometimes she's too busy or she's too stressed out to like even like think about that kind of stuff, you know, because they got other things going on. And yeah, I feel like I just gotta give her that space, you know, because I feel like girls are like cats, dude. You gotta let them wander off.
Is
and
that true, Noel? Are you like cat?
they'll
I
eventually
love
just come
cats.
back, you know, because like when you force a cat to just like stay next to you, like they don't like that, so you're
Yeah.
just gonna let them do their thing and they'll just come back
Yeah,
eventually.
You gotta. I mean, like I said earlier in this podcast, you gotta. I mean, you gotta give it your all. Relationships are meant to. If you're trying to make a relationship last, you're trying to make it withstand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give it your all. You gotta give it.
Yeah.
But also, your all doesn't mean to like be there every single moment of every single day. You know, you do. What I learned is that you don't have to text all the time. Like, I mean, I'd love to be texting all the time, but you know, you gotta take a minute to like, oh, okay, like obviously they got things to do.
Yeah.
And what JERiCK said, if you got nothing else to do, you best go find something to do because you know what, like, uh, you also have to be on your own grind. Don't forget about yourself. Yourself is also important. You know.
Yeah, you gotta focus on yourself. Even Will Smith said it. Like when two, like it's not the other person's responsibility. Your happiness is not somebody else's responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta make yourself happy, and same goes vice versa too. Like you can't help the other person if they can't help themselves. You know?
Yeah. And once I was able to actually, I realized that after, I think I just got frustrated because I would communicate that I did, you know, I was wanting just more effort.
Mhm.
But you know that looking back on it, it's like you can throw it out there, and how someone receives it and implements it is a whole nother story. It's like the blending of the two worlds. It's a sensitive thing. And
I think what's important in a relationship is that once again, when you do communicate with somebody, it's that when you do have those instances where, oh, okay, this is who I am, and then that you throw it at them or they throw it at you, and you're just like, shit, how do I take this? You know? And if you're not willing to compromise or accept it or you know see how it fits in your own life, like, are you really trying to be with somebody? Like, a real relationship
right.
is about trying to find who you are along with somebody and how you mesh well together. And if you're not willing to sit there and communicate, if you're not willing to be a better version of yourself, then what's it all matter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and don't take it too personally too when they get busy or they get like super stressed with whatever. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you too. Like I think I've come to realize that because like the person I'm dating now, like we had an argument before. Like how come? Cause I called her out on it. Like how come you don't give me enough attention? Like especially, I mean, it happens once in a while when she just like gets like super stressed and she doesn't, you know, want to talk to anybody. And I get it. But then sometimes I'm just like, I kind of call her out on it, but in a way that's like I'm taking it too personally.
Mm.
Like, how come you're not giving me attention? Is that like, do you not love me anymore or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love is a learning process, not just about you and who you are with, but who you are with and without them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's a test of time, to be honest. To be sitting there and be like, oh man, I wonder what she's up to today. Oh, I wonder if she's thinking about me. Obviously, she's thinking about you. Like, don't be a fool and start like eating up those negative thoughts. You just gotta have faith and trust that what's meant for you will stay.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, I was very focused on just being okay with myself, because I saw that once that me communicating multiple times wasn't actually being received the way that I wanted it to be received. Then I was like, fuck, like I need to be able to make myself happy, not as like a sign of like, like protesting, but more so just like I need to be able to like be okay with that distance and find what makes me happy.
You know what's crazy too? Because you said your love language is quality time and physical touch.
Yeah.
Right? But you're in a long distance relationship. Those are like the two things that you
that's
can't
all
get
opposites. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, geez.
in a long distance relationship. It's just like it's hard. That's why I think that's probably one of the reasons why like long distance relationship doesn't work, especially if people that have quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and what's the other one?
Gifts.
Gift
Gifts.
giving.
Those are the four things that you can't really get. I mean, I guess you can get quality time if you talk on the phone, but
it's so different
Yeah.
talking on the phone as to actually being in a room with someone.
yeah, like think about that. Those are four things that you can't get in a long distance relationship, and the only thing you can get is words of affirmation. And like for a lot of people, that's not their love language.
Yeah,
So,
if anything,
like,
it was cringeworthy for me to get compliments, because I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I gotta be humble. Like, oh, stop it.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. Like it's tough, but
it's definitely. I mean, it was all a learning lesson, and just
Yeah.
being able to be like, what works and what doesn't work, and that it didn't work for me. So I didn't take it as I was heartbroken. Don't get me wrong, but then I went on that soul searching journey, and I'm so grateful for it, because now I feel great standing on my own 2 feet, where I can actually open my arms up to someone and be like, let's figure it out.
Yeah, you know what's funny too is like I talked to the girl that I had a long distance relationship with like a few months ago, and I told her like what happened, and like I apologized, and like we talked for a little bit, which is cool because it's like a little bit of a closure,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of moved forward.
Now you're in a relationship where you're happy, talking about marriage, maybe potentially. Hey,
Maybe.
yeah.
She says yes. It's a 2-way street,
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah,
She
I
doesn't
think
listen to this podcast.
to be able to get closure is, I think, such a beautiful process.
Yeah.
Like what I was talking about earlier with my grandpa, and just being able to be like, we did it the best that we possibly could. We gave it 100%, and knowing myself, I can 100% be confident in saying like, I gave it with every relationship I was in my all, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
And it's nice to talk to depending on how you guys broke things off, but like talk to your exes, like ask them like what happened, like how come it didn't work out, like ask them the bad qualities that you have. So
Sometimes
like
ask yourself too,
yeah,
Ask yourself.
Yeah.
Because you already know. You don't need somebody to confirm it for
Yeah.
you. You already know.
you just gotta stop bullshitting yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
You know.
if you're a piece of shit, then you know.
don't. The thing is with relationships is that somebody tries to find the blame, and that's what I learned in not in this relationship, but in my previous relationships. I always tried to find like who was in the wrong. Nobody's in the wrong. It was your truth, their truth, and the real truth.
And what we want to experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mostly blame myself though. I mean,
if
I feel like
anybody's
I did.
I feel like, wow, if
Yeah.
people are
Everybody's to blame.
hypercritical of ourselves.
We
Maybe.
are. We absolutely are. But that's how you grow, though.
Yeah.
You got to be able to see yourself outside of your skin and be like, oh, you know, dude, you really should have just chilled on that moment.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no real
'Cause
reason.
I remember,
no rhyme or reason.
because
You know, take a breather.
Because I talked to my ex, and then I told her, like, I apologized, like, oh, I'm sorry for being an asshole, basically. And she was like, no, you're not really an asshole. Like, you're, like, super nice. Just, we're just different people. But I'm like,
Saw things differently.
But-
you know.
I treated you like shit. Just let me take that, like it was a mistake.
Oh
and,
man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, one, owning whatever you think that your faults may be, whether they perceived it or not, or even if you think that, for me, like I knew that I'd be like seen as crazy because in the relationship, I think every relationship, I didn't feel vulnerable enough, I guess safe enough to be vulnerable and open, because self-healing is very difficult, and it's such a sensitive topic of how I perceive things in my mind as opposed to how I'm projecting it, and then how another person, vice versa. So I mean, that was pretty complicated, dealing in relationship in that aspect. And so a lot of the times I was trying to be that perfect person for them, meaning I was suppressing a lot of who I was. And
So you're basically trying to please them, and
Yeah.
like not.
And so all my energy was going
yourself.
towards that,
Yeah.
and being able to create that barrier. And then being able to be like, fuck, but in order for me to get closure, I need to accept all of that needs to be expressed in order for me to find that closure for myself. And so I knew that I was like, shit, like I need to do this for myself. And so I knew that the other person like would think I was crazy for it. But I mean, anyone who I was in a relationship that I want to truly be authentically myself, because we're always constantly growing and discovering more and more about ourselves. So I'm like, shit, like I have to accept, if I can accept all of what I am, then that means I can be okay with expressing all of who I am to someone else.
Yeah.
And whether they receive it or not, like they're gonna receive it, whether it's like they villainize me for it or they can actually see me.
Maybe you just haven't found that person yet.
I don't think I
You're
have.
like so open,
Yeah, you just gotta find somebody who's like, I'm not saying for you to find somebody, I mean like anybody in general, you gotta find the right vibe, because you vibe at a frequency, on a frequency different than others. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna come upon somebody because you saw them, they were attractive, and then you saw, oh, okay, maybe I'm gonna say hello to them. But no, it's where and I was thinking about this as you were talking. It's like even if you have a first love, that first love, that was great, but they were meant to be in your life to teach you who you really are, who you're really meant to be. Like first, second, who knows? But like if you go into this relationship, or if you go into that relationship thinking, oh, it's gonna be perfect, then you're out of your mind, because like nothing's ever perfect once again. But if you go into that relationship and you come out of it thinking, oh, it was their fault, then you're out of your mind for sure.
Yeah.
Because like being in a first, if your first relationship works out for you, hey, like bless, because damn, like
That's luck.
that's not even luck. That's like
One in a million.
Oh yeah, and I'm happy that you're happy, but like
I only say it exists because my grandparents met when they were in high school, and they were like each other's first loves, and they had a 65 plus like year marriage.
65 years. That's
Ooh,
a long
that's a
time.
long time.
That's a long time. So I'm like, it's possible.
That's a
It's
lifetime
possible.
right there.
Yeah.
And
So.
That's all I'm asking for, is for a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like if you found that first love and you kept with that first love, congratulations to you. But for all of you guys thinking, oh, I got this I got into this relationship and it didn't work out, am I in the wrong? No.
Yeah.
Don't maybe, I don't know, but like take what that relationship has supposed to have taught you, because there is that saying that some people just come into your life to be the stepping stone to becoming a better version of who you are.
Yeah.
Like don't ever think that you are the best version of yourself, because there's still so many things here in this world that you have yet to even do. Like nobody's ever get like the best. Nobody.
I mean, if you were in the wrong in your past relationships, then claim it,
Claim it.
Yeah.
Like if you
It's a sign of maturity if you can do that.
exactly. Like if you did
Absolutely.
bad things, terrible things, like you gotta own that shit and
Don't be
just,
afraid to
like,
apologize.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Don't be
move
afraid to
forward.
apologize.
your next relationship, hopefully you don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, life and love and the pursuit of happiness.
'Cause especially if you just blame the other person and you
Yeah.
don't never looked at yourself, then that's a big no for
That's how I'm thinking that same exact thing. That's a no,
Yeah.
no, don't
Yeah.
do that. Mm-mm.
I
Don't
think
do that.
one thing that comes to mind is so in the span of the last time I had seen you fellas was I had started talking to someone who I thought I'd be able to invest in.
Oh.
And I think that I think my own insecurities of because he had told me that he wanted to be committed, and I guess I didn't believe him. But in my mind, I'm like, why didn't I believe him? That's like my insecurity of because he's like a traveling musician and like holding these beautiful events where people are like glorifying him of like wow, like women and men, you know.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, oh my god, like do I always have to like be worried about that? Like what does true commitment mean to someone? And when he said that, I wish that this is something to move forward in for the next time, so I don't feel insecure like or thinking that he was lying or whatnot.
So when he said that, you were like, it was like,
I just stopped it because in my mind I'm like, I don't think you know what that means because I didn't ask him what
you
commitment
just kinda,
means to him because
kinda
he's
just
such a free
assumed.
spirit, you know,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
in like this conscious community where it's like everything is peace, love, harmony, let's be expressive and loving and to everyone, and I agree with that. But it's like I needed to be able to feel, I guess, secure with myself in order to be with someone who is just as expressive as they say that they are. It's challenging. And I think that I would love to have a conversation of like, what is commitment then?
So
like,
you-
what are boundaries in that
so you
regards?
just cut it off with him then.
I mean, I
Is it
I just
so
kinda-
you?
yeah,
Is
I
it
don't
you
know.
question his meaning of commitment, or is it because you didn't want to commit yourself?
I think maybe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, if it's excuse my language, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no, and
So there's no in between that.
I guess not. I mean, I've explored it. I explored those options, and I experienced magic with him. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I want to like find someone where I'm like,
Do you feel like you regret
This
your
is it.
decision for?
I mean, I finally asked him like, are you married? Like, you know, we didn't even have that conversation of like, are you like a relationship? What is that to you? Because I've gotten into things where people have been in relationships.
Huh.
And yeah, that's really heartbreaking for me. But I guess like I was attracting that into my life because I always wanted to have like an out, as real as that is. So I think being actually ready to be loved, woo, is it's a whole nother thing that I'm ready to step into. Or if not, I'm taking the steps.
Yeah.
This is me like
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't feel bad for it. It's because like a lot of people are dealing with that too. Like not everybody's ready for a commitment or a relationship. I think everybody's just trying to figure it out.
Everybody's absolutely
Like
everybody's
some
trying to
people
figure out.
are more ready to that, and then
And-
some people are just like too ready.
I don't think anybody's ever. You know, honestly, I don't think anybody's.
No, I
ever
think it's
ready.
just
you
because,
feel
like-
like you're ready,
because
but
we
you're
only
not
knew each
ready,
other
you know what
for
I'm saying?
that day, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, how can you want to know that you want to commit yourself to me 1,000,000% if like we only had a day, not even the full 24 hours? It's like, are you ready? Like, because for me, commitment means like commitment. It means commitment, meaning like let's start planning for a future together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
a lot. That's a lot.
yeah. I mean, commitment's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah. Like to like find where are we gonna live? You know, is this where we live going to support a family? Because I want to create a family. Is this family going to be like supported with what we're doing now? Is it going to be like a safe environment to do that? But at the same time, it's like you also have to like allow yourself the freedom to like, we'll figure it out on the way down. We'll
And
figure it out
everybody
on the
has
way up.
different reasons to not commit to.
Yeah.
Some people, it's probably like they haven't figured themselves out, or like they don't have the right career path for themselves, or they're still busy with school or work.
Yeah.
Like whatever reason, like I think everybody has like their reason for not committing.
Yeah, I mean, he had even told me that he had an issue with me being in an environment where I go-go dance and where I model. Like, I remember I was like, I had a go-go gig over at Lex during the Burning Man decompression, and I sent him a picture with me in my outfit, and he was like, I don't want to see this. Like, I have my assistants running my Facebook page, and I'm like, fuck, like, this is something I'm pursuing. This is like who I am.
Is
like,
that a big deal breaker for you when somebody stops you from doing what you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, because it brings me so much joy, and I want someone to share in that joy as opposed to being like, don't do that because you're going to garnish unwanted attention. And that's an environment that's super desperate. And I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I'm the same way too. Like if somebody stops me from doing what I want, I feel like that's a big deal breaker for me.
And that was what was the deal breaker. And I think that me saying like, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm pursuing a career in the entertainment industry, as you should know this because he is in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if you can't be supportive of that, then I don't know what I can do. If anything, I just need time away to like process it all because it's just a lot. Because it's like if you can't accept that, then it's like, what will make you accept that? So it wasn't that like, yes, let's do it sort of thing, especially because all relationships are going to have the not seeing eye to eye. That's a part of the relationship, the beautiful part of like, okay, how do we see eye to eye?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we figure it out each other together?
I think you just gotta, there's a lot of compromises.
There is a lot of compromise. I mean, there's certain things that you're not gonna like. There's certain things that they're not gonna like, and it's not on them and it's not on you, but it's on both of you to figure out the current balance within the relationship. Because I mean, there are certain things that you're not comfortable doing, or certain things that they're not comfortable with you doing, and you just gotta voice that out. You gotta be able to tell them like, look, this is how it is for me, and maybe eventually I will be, but currently at this time, like, it's at my comfortability level, and like if you really want this to work, like you have to understand where each other is coming from. Like you can't just push your own side, your own agendas, and you can't just expect their agendas to be put on you. It's a teamwork. You know what I'm saying? You gotta try at least once, and if it scares the shit out of you, at least tell them, because you know what, like life is relationships are scary, but at the same time it's beautiful once you get it to work. Like you just gotta communicate.
Yeah, I heard this cool. Somebody said this. Marriage is about finding that special someone to fight with for the rest of your life.
I love that. Yeah.
It's like, because you look at it, it's like, because you are gonna fight eventually, and sometimes like things can get really ugly, but I think you just gotta work it out with that significant other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like those knife fights where you're like tied together and you're like, you
Michael
can't move
Jackson.
anywhere.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. You just gotta. That's exactly.
But it's like you have to find that person that you love to fight with, because that fight then ultimately is going to bring you that eye to eye vision.
Yeah, because I think every fight you become a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it's a really bad fight, then it might,
create that space that's needed in order to like say like, is this something that I even want to pursue? Is it something that we can even get through? And if it's something that we can get through, and it's something that I want to keep investing into, and that's the beauty of the choice.
Yeah.
That being together is a choice. And so it's that.
To
the
tie
time.
this all in, you gotta find that somebody to invest your time in.
Yeah.
Invest your time.
Find that special
Yeah.
someone. They're out there. If you already have them, appreciate them.
Squeeze
Yeah.
them and love them and
Yeah.
just like
If you're
I said,
listening and
appreciate
you're
them.
next to your loved one right now, look him straight in the eye, look her straight in the eye, and be like, "Look, I love you."
Oh,
Because love is what matters the most. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you're willing to struggle and like make what it is worth, then it's gonna be worth it.
yeah.
It's always gonna be worth it.
And to come full circle of like, if you're investing your time in a relationship, I think you should constantly be investing everything that you have into growing that relationship, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and if you don't have a special someone right now, invest your time
in yourself.
in yourself.
Yeah, or in your
To be
family.
the better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just keep growing yourself.
So yeah, I think like the better you get, the better quality people you'll
Attract for sure.
attract
Yeah.
in your
Absolutely.
life.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But,
Cool. That was a cool conversation, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for
wow.
tuning in. Y'all the
Mhm.
best.
That was fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
That was
Ooh,
good. I feel
ooh.
good. I feel like I just
Ooh.
need. It's like all like
You just gotta
it's just
Get it all out there.
sizzling in me
you
right
gotta
now.
vent it all out.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's great to even just like get this out of me and just like have perspectives of two beautiful human beings that I trust your guys'
Oh, thank
perspective
you.
and opinion. So
We're not professionals, but we're here to listen to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
they got beautiful
That's,
hearts.
that's all people really need is a moment for somebody to listen to. And that's
Yeah.
also important when communicating. Comprehend.
Yeah, feel free to comment down below if you guys have any other topic ideas that you guys want us to talk about.
Any questions for this podcast? Let us know.
Questions, or just tell us how awesome we are.
Yes. I love that.
Because we love words of affirmation.
Hey.
Yes. I love it. Thank you, fellas, for everything. I
Thank you
love
for
you so
coming
on.
much, both
Thanks
of you.
for coming in, and thanks for the cocktails.
Yes,
yeah.
anytime.
Delicious.
Woo! Next time, whenever,
Yeah, y'all know the secret now.
Yes.
Spread it.
Yeah.
We'll call it the
Spread it.
Noel.
Drink
Yeah.
it.
We got a good
Ooh, I
buzz
love
going on
that.
today.
Yeah.
Mermaid vibes for show.
Yeah, and yeah, she got a cool mermaid costume. If
Yeah.
you're not watching on YouTube, you should totally do it.
Protect the oceans, people.
Yes.
Protect the earth.
Yes.
Mother Earth.
Exactly.
Pachamama.
Yeah.
All right.
Well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
guys. That was
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Mwah.
All
We'll
right.
catch you again next time.
See you guys next Monday.
Hey.
Peace.
Later.